to Lead Within with Chika Sayaba. Today, our topic is strategies to develop self-regulation. Self-regulation is a skill that allows people to master their emotions, behavior, and body movement when they face tough situations and unplanned circumstances. Self-regulation allows you to do what will help you stay focused, paying attention to your goal and to your targets. Several children and adults battle with self-regulation because they act without thinking during an emotional event when they are upset. But after the situation, when all is calm, they often feel or say they know they should have acted in another way entirely. It was because they lacked self-regulation. Understandable that self-regulation and self-control are not the same terms. I know they appear to be the same, but self-control is not a social skill. Self-regulation it is. Self-regulation is like a thermostat. You find a thermostat in devices like an air conditioner. It kickstarts or puts off an air conditioner to keep the room temperature at a certain level or at a set point. That is what a thermostat does. A thermostat tracks the temperature changes, matches it to the set point, and determines whether to heat the room or cool the room. This is exactly how self-regulation works. How it works in us as an inbuilt skill. Self-regulation as a skill grows over time. It grows over time. You just have to be patient with yourself. Persons who battle with self-regulation have concerns, knowing what will help them calm down if and when they are upset. They do. And why do I say so? When you lack self-regulation, it's difficult to become flexible. It's difficult to alter your emotion, your behavior at a point where you are frustrated. You easily engage in temper tantrums and outbursts. I would like to suggest certain ways that can help you build up this skill of self-regulation. And what are some of these? 1, identify and reduce your emotional triggers. Reduce your emotional triggers. There are people who do their best to avoid negative emotions because they know they can't handle it when unpleasant things happen. They know they can't handle unpleasant events. What you have to do is to start looking out for patterns or elements that are present when you start to feel those strong negative emotions within you. It takes personal discovery, inquiry, and telling yourself the truth by not masking your emotion. See, strong emotions always arise out of our deep-seated, insecure feelings. Those are the feelings that we hide. Whatever is happening around you often leaves you with a certain feeling. Have you ever noticed it? If you have not, you should. Because if you are able to spot it, this ability to spot it helps you to become aware of what you are feeling at that time. How you do it is by becoming more interested in your own physical reactions or in your own physical responses. It helps you to tune in into yourself. Exactly. I mean, tune in into yourself. You do that by paying attention to the parts of your body where you are noticing a build-up of certain sensations. An upset in your stomach, your heart racing, or you feeling your head or your neck tensed. These physical symptoms are likely signs that you are experiencing negative emotion. Inquiring into what is happening to you physically can also help you distract your focus and allow some of the emotional chemistry to even disappear. Again, another way for self-regulation is put a name on what you feel. Put a name on what you feel. After noticing the emotional build-up, proceed to give it a name. The ability to name it will help you regulate it. I am angry. I am frustrated. Ask yourself, what do I call this emotion? Disappointment, anger, sadness, resentment, fear, bitterness. I know it is possible to feel more than one emotion at the same time. So go ahead and name them. Don't mask them. When you have named them, move on a little further from naming. For instance, if it is an emotion of fear, ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Do the same thing with strong emotions like anger, frustration, bitterness. Your ability to put a name on that emotion brings you closer to telling someone about it. Again, to self-regulate yourself, practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is minding your mind. That's the way I define it. Mindfulness is the awareness you have about yourself in paying attention on purpose to the present moment and not making any judgment about anything. Mindfulness, just like the term goes, is being mindful of this moment. What is happening here and now? Mindfulness enables you to place a distance between yourself and your reaction. It leads you to become better focused. Helps you to gain this feeling of calmness and relaxation because you are the master of your emotion. For self-regulation, again, reframe your thoughts. You cannot prevent a bird from flying over your head, but you can prevent it from building a nest on your head. In the same vein, you cannot stop negative thoughts from coming into your mind. These negative thoughts are the things that lead you to negative emotion. They kickstart the negativity. As soon as a negative thought hits your mind, step back. Reframe that thought with a positive thought or a positive emotion. Reframing is reinterpreting a situation in order to change your emotional response towards it. I hope you get that. You reinterpret the situation with a positive spin. For instance, imagine a friend did not return your call or text after several days. What will you feel? What will you be thinking? Rather than thinking that this is a reflection about something your friend holds about you, such like, he hates me. Why not put a positive spin on it to say, I'm sure he's busy. Or, I hope all is well with him. Let me call him. When you constantly engage in reframing, you experience less negative emotions and more positive emotion. Again, for self-regulation, change the story you are telling yourself. Wow. Change the story you are telling yourself. When situations are not clear enough, don't fill in the blanks. It's not an objective test. Perhaps you have not heard from your spouse, your fiancé or your fiancée. Do not begin to feel ignored or rejected. Don't fill in the blanks. We often fill in the blanks by believing that it is because they no longer care about us. Is that really true? Filling in the blanks are emotional attributions that are based on assumptions and incorrect facts. Before you make these attributions, ask yourself, what other explanations might be possible for what may be happening at that time? For instance, if your spouse, your fiancé or your fiancée, or anyone else, you've not been able to reach them, instead of concluding that they just want to ignore you, could they be busy? Why not ask yourself? Are they in trouble? Are they sick? Except that is their default mode. Again, for self-regulation, practice reward reinforcement. Practice reward reinforcement. What do I mean by reward reinforcement? If you have been able to find yourself calm in a circumstance without the natural outburst, reward yourself. Reward yourself with something that you love. Each time you implement a reward system for yourself, such like treating yourself to a special dinner, because you have manifested self-regulation, you strengthen that skill in yourself. So whatever you have told yourself you will do to positively reward yourself, each time you are able to master your emotion and regulate your behavior or your emotion, go ahead and do it. You will reinforce this skill in your life when you reward yourself because you responded instead of reacting. Who doesn't like a reward? We all do. So reward yourself because you have been able to do something that you told yourself you will do. Again, practice visualization. Be able to see that you are able to handle such situations before they ever happen. If you can see them ahead and manage them ahead, you can manage them physically. Use a vision board. Use your imaginative rehearsal mode. Rehearse them, practice them, see them before they happen, and then you can achieve them. Again, practice adaptability. Species that survive, biology tells us, are the species that have the ability to adapt. Adapt your emotion according to different situations and circumstances. It is what will help you cope. People will hurt you. People will say things about you. Things will happen that may make you feel down, disappointed, and downcast. Learn to adapt. Learn to adjust. Again, be an optimistic person. Be an optimistic person. Train your mind and your emotion to be calm when you are feeling stressed, anxious, or down. Be able to see the brighter side of life. Believe that things will always be better. If you are a strong self-regulator, you likely consider challenges as opportunities to learn and to improve your future and your entire life. And so, be optimistic. Constantly be on the lookout for positives in people. And don't condemn people for their behaviors and their attitudes even before they manifest it. See the best in people. Expect the best in people. When you do, they naturally manifest that towards you. And finally, find a therapist to work with you. Find a therapist to work with you. Managing your emotion can be difficult, quite challenging, and it requires a high degree of self-awareness. A coach or a therapist can help you build this skill. When you are having a hard time, your emotional self begins to suffer. But with a therapist as a partner or a coach as a partner, you can build better self-regulation skills that will help you to cope anywhere, any day, at any time. Fortunately, that is why I am speaking to you at this time. Because a therapist, a professional helper, can give you the best help at any point in time. As I wrap up, you are your best remote controller. You are your best remote controller. Emotions cannot be controlled. They can only be mastered based on self-regulation. Just like a thermostat. Remember, with self-regulation, you choose the emotion to deploy at any point in time. Of all the strategies that I've mentioned, which one of these will you want to implement immediately? Kindly let me know. Thank you.